Name it. Destiny's Child?
Is it? Okay.
Is that right, or Beyonce?
No, I would say
okay, Destiny's Child.
Okay. Say my name. That's because this story, a North Texas man learned the hard way that his Twitter handle, his Twitter name, was apparently a wanted commodity.
Yeah, in fact, he turned down thousands of dollars to sell it, and then Twitter stepped in and actually took it from him. Fox 4's Calvert Collins joining us now from Dallas with Calvert, kind of an unusual chain of events that left this guy with a new username. What can you tell us?
Well, you know, Chase Bank is one of the world's largest financial institutions. You think it owns a lot of things, but one thing it didn't own was the Twitter handle Chase. That 5-letter username belonged to a young graphic designer from Wiley. That was until a few weeks ago.
You know, I'm a little soured by the whole experience with them.
25-year-old Chase Genta was an early and loyal Twitter follower. He says he acquired his @Chase handle 5 years ago after its previous account holder never used it. Up until last month, Genta's avatar resembled the bank's logo, and his Chase retweets profile read, "This account is no way affiliated with Chase Bank or JP Morgan. @Chase Genta, Dallas, Texas." He admits he occasionally retweeted frustrated bank customers from that account.
I never intended to mislead or deceive the people that might have come across that profile.
Genta says neither the bank nor Twitter ever contacted him until a month ago. In early September, an anonymous third-party domain broker called him asking to buy the @Chase handle.
Made me offers, I think first at $2,000, then $5,000, $10,000, and I just kept on saying no every time. And then he finally came back on his last one. He doubled it from $10,000 to $20,000. Was his final offer, which I actually just didn't even respond to.
Genta says he turned down each offer because he couldn't verify the broker's legitimacy.
Not even 12 hours later, I got my first complaint from Twitter about a trademark infringement. You know, so I'd never gotten any word from Twitter before about anything of the matter.
Immediately, Genta says he changed his avatar to a personal picture, edited his profile, and changed the URL, but still kept the @Chase username. He claims he emailed Twitter alerting the company of the changes. Days later, Twitter replied his account had been disabled, and JP Morgan Chase officially held the @Chase handle.
You're never quite safe from the big guys like that. If they want something, then they probably have the means to get it.
Both JP Morgan Chase and Twitter had no comment. Genta still operates a personal account and says he doesn't plan to sue either company to get his old username back. Calvert Collins, Fox 4 News.
Joining us now for more perspective on this story is Brett Madole, an intellectual property attorney right here in Dallas. All right, you have some questions. This young man says he turned down the broker fee or offer because he didn't know if it was legit or not. But, I mean, that seems like that would be the whole motive for setting something like this up, having somebody offer you some money to buy it from you. What do you think of all that?
Well, we get thousands of offers a day, email, you know, all of us do, and most of them are bogus. So I can understand that if he had some concerns about it being legitimate, that makes some sense. Right. After the second or third time of somebody approaching him, I think I might have gotten a little more curious about the offer.
Especially if it's going up to $20,000, and this guy's a 25-year-old. I don't know if he's rolling in money or not, but that's a lot of money for anybody.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the terms of use and what you see as if he met the terms of use. It says you got to clearly say if you're going to have a parody site, it's got to identify, you know, this is not Steve Eager, this is not the real Brett Madole, it's a parody. And he did kind of send people to legit Chase sites, but you don't think that was enough?
No, I think his flaw here was that, one, he's got a handle of @Chase. So he knows that Chase Bank has a trademark in Chase. So he had to be really, really careful on how he used his handle. And so by sending people to other Chase sites, it's going to look like it's coming from Chase Bank.
Right, and that damages Chase's brand, I guess.
Exactly. Right? I mean, they don't want people misleading the consumer that Chase Bank is in touch with them or commenting on certain aspects.
I have a question. Bottom line, though, I mean, Twitter can take anything away from anybody they want, I guess, right? So that's how it works, and so you really ought to read that handwriting on the wall and try to play close to the rules.
You certainly should follow their policies.
Right.
They've got a number of policies out there. They've got a trademark policy. They've got a parody policy. Their trademark policy says if you use somebody else's trademark, you can't cause confusion with it. Chase had the absolute right to use his name. Mm-hmm. They awarded him the handle,
right?
And I think that was legit. He can use his own name, but he can't cause confusion with that.
I think there's still some question as far as how Twitter got onto this. I mean, was it the broker who kept getting turned down? We don't know exactly who this broker, whether it was legit or not, if it was an agent of Chase or not. But maybe the broker wanted to shut him down and eventually got frustrated and notified Chase. And all. I don't know. What's your suspicion on this? You deal with this kind of stuff.
My suspicion is, well, one, I doubt that Chase Bank hired a broker to go find this handle. I doubt they were behind this. The broker could have gotten frustrated. That's entirely possible, and turned him into Chase Bank. And you know, his retweeting of messages from disgruntled customers, again, looking like it's coming from Chase Bank.
Once Chase would have found out about that would have got their attention.
That's what threw them over. I feel fairly certain. And Twitter wouldn't pull this without some reason. They're not going to do that lightly. Because, as we know, I mean, you can develop serious value in a Twitter handle.
Sure.
Just like a trademark, you can develop goodwill. And some of those can become very, very valuable. Twitter's not going to pull that without some good reason.
Okay, Brett Madone. We'll see how it turns out if there's any more to this story in the coming weeks. Thank you very much for the perspective.
Thank you.